Intelligent Concrete. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jon.
I'm Whitney.
And we're here to talk to you today
About Ccrl.
about Ccrl. So, what is Ccrl, Whitney?
Cement Concrete Research Laboratory.
They are the gatekeepers and the key holders
Right.
to your certification for ASTMC 1077,
I think it's 1017. Maybe it's 1017.
and then the AASHTO R18.
Right.
So
Right.
basically, it's how you regulate your lab, how you administer the protocol for doing different standardized specifications, and there is a list. Now,
Of like, it's paperwork stuff and then it's also lab functionality stuff.
so they come out
Right.
to the facility once every 2 years?
It's every 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years,
Right.
and then 2 times a year. I want to say it feels
It's
like
twice a year, yeah.
twice a year. They send us these proficiency materials to make proficiency samples of
Right.
concrete, and I love the idea of it. And it seems like they have been getting better over the years. And the whole concept is somebody, at one point comes out to your facility, make sure you're following, all the
the rules,
ASTMs and the way they do it, and they test you and you do mixes and da 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 da, and you can only get so many dings, and then you have to.
Right. Well, you can get however many dings you need to, but you need to correct them all.
Right. To be considered the Ccrl certified R18.
Right.
To me, I was the one who originally pushed it
Right.
when we were open for years,
Right.
and working with universities on a lot of research projects for DOTs, and never went after. Not that we weren't keeping our lab
Sure.
under the specifications, according to
Right.
the specs. We were ad nauseum.
Right.
But we just never saw the relevancy in. So then we started doing these, different testing procedures and programs where you needed to be a 1077
Right. Yeah, you're right.
certified lab.
To be able to do them and have them, it has to be an accredited lab, like the 494.
That's the right. I keep saying certified.
Yeah,
Accredited.
but yeah,
It's
tomato.
tomato. So why it's important? It's not necessarily important if you're just an R&D lab who already has good quality control practices. But if you want to be a recognized, accredited lab, for these
Right.
for the tests that you're doing,
Right.
and you want to, part of your business model is to sell that you are accredited, then you need this.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's not, Ccrl is not the only one. If you go overseas, it's ICRAT.
Yeah,
I
I can't remember. Yeah, there's different places have different ones, but for the U.S. it's Ccrl.
Ccrl. Okay, so conflicts. Whitney and I have had some hiccups with
Right.
Ccrl over the years, more so with the folks that come in who don't seem to be trained. They seem to be trained in the ability to calibrate and the ability to follow
To check boxes.
check boxes. I'm trying to be as nice as possible with this.
It's just, and no disrespect is meant, but I think every person that has come to our lab, you could tell that for me, I felt like I could tell
Right.
that they had not ever worked in a concrete lab. And they would say something and then it would be confusing and they would want to see this and not that. There's just a lot of inconsistencies with the people that come out and the procedures that they want to see. And I think that's the biggest frustration.
I had gone through, I was in the military for some time, and I have gone through some survival training. And part of what I learned in survival training, I really need to start applying. We had somebody come out here, it was our second time getting it done, or getting the Ccrl inspection, that they were coming out to our facility. And I had to cast a flex beam.
Right.
One flex beam you had to cast. Do a mix and this and that. And I'm doing the flex beam, I cast it, and our Ccrl inspector says, okay, that's good, you can go ahead and wrap up. And I just cast it, I didn't finish it and do anything, put covers on. So I started putting everything away, and the inspector goes, what are you doing? I said, you just told me to put everything away. And the inspector says, no, I need you to see you finish it out. I said, oh, okay, I don't mind, I like finishing beams. So we continued on, and they said, you know what, looks good, wrap it up, let's go ahead and put everything away. And and it just kept going
Right,
on like that.
right.
So finally, what I started doing is just say, I'm just going to do this per the standard.
Right.
And that's where we run into, and I think there are 3 specific things that I want to bring up.
Okay.
One is we have these certification samples, which you saw in front of us, and right there, that's enough material to do, I believe, 0.85 cubic feet worth of material. Now, the funny thing is when you really look at the standards, ASTM 192 specifies that you're supposed to use 1 cubic foot worth of material to make samples. Sorry. For ASTM 39, so on and so forth. So again, that's the first contradiction. That kind of bothers you. You're sending out a lot of material. Why not send out 0.15 cubic feet?
Well, and heaven knows they charge enough to send out the material.
Well, I don't know that part.
But it's just like, follow the standard.
Well, that's the thing for me. And I think you see it too. You remember that time? I think it was the first. It was the Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yes.
It was when you're doing ASTM 192. There's a requirement that you do a
butter mix.
Butter mix. A butter mix is a representative portion of the mix that will cream up the inside of the mixer, so that when you make your actual mix, you're not losing any of that cream to the inside of the mixer. It's a sacrificial cream with that butter mix.
And they said not to run it. And I think every time when you've run the butter mix, they leave the room. Like, they don't even want you
so
do
that's
the
second,
butter mix.
That's just the second inconsistency.
Right.
That it's either they don't want you to do the butter mix,
or they walk out when you do.
Or when we get these materials, when we finish up with those materials, there's not enough material to make a butter mix. Now, I've got to make a butter mix if I'm going to stick with the standard.
Well, and it says don't run a butter mix.
No.
I thought it did in the proficiency sample. I'm fairly certain it does.
I haven't seen. It hasn't come down the sheet.
Maybe
yet.
not.
I haven't seen it in my email.
I thought I'd seen it. But
if memory serves me correctly, I want to say they do put a butter mix.
Okay.
Now there is something. Let's just say even if they don't, even if they do, there's just not enough material.
Sure.
There is something that I want to bring the book out for real quick, if that's okay.
Sure.
So it says we could just stick with this one. Anyway, so if you go to section 7.3.1 ASTM 192, it says unless the fine aggregate is separated to individual size fractions, maintain it into a damp condition or restore it to a damp condition until use, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it says the same thing for coarse aggregate. During the CCRL, they want you to cook the aggregate.
Right.
Cook the moisture out and then allow it to
completely
cool.
dry it. Right.
So I just don't. Again, it's
just inconsistencies with.
Right. It's the inconsistencies that bother me, and man, I knew I should have put a note in there because I saw this earlier today, and of course now I can't find it. But man, there was a portion that says, bring it to an SSD condition.
Right. I remember you talking to me about that.
Right, I said it this morning, didn't I?
Did.
Okay, I'm not going too crazy.
So yeah, it's those inconsistencies that are very frustrating.
Right, and we're for those of you who work in a research lab,
right,
you're held to the
standard,
to the letter, to the ink on the page, like the period.
Well, and then you just, with all those inconsistencies, you never know when they're going to actually stick to it.
Right.
So it's
if you work at here it is. Look. Bring the aggregate to a saturated condition and maintain this condition with surface moisture. Contain sufficient small amounts to preclude loss by draining at least 24 hours prior to use.
Yeah.
Right, section 7.3.2.3. I knew I was going to find it. High five. So again, that's one of the 3 inconsistencies that you have to deal with. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and that's the resolution.
Right, they're the ones that sign off. So what are you gonna do? Like, you just gotta.
We're talking to y'all, CCRL. Like, we get it. You're in charge, right? You says what goes, and we are going to do the best we can to follow this.
Right.
To us, this is the most important thing, and we're gonna do our darndest. Is this the most recent? I don't think so.
I don't know, 2019.
I should. Sorry, no, it's not.
Whatever.
I should have brought
Anyways,
that. Anyway,
the most current ASTMs.
so the most current
Whatever they are.
ASTMs, and we're excited for y'all to come.
Right.
Yes. So we resolve to do our best.
Absolutely.
I think that's the resolution.
And I think all labs probably do. So.
Amen. Amen. All right. So hopefully you learned a little bit about CCRL, at least through our eyes. We encourage you to go to the CCRL website. We'll make sure we throw that link below. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions about it. We're always entertained when we get to talk about CCRL. Plus, when we get to put that little, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
That was pretty
Link
awesome.
at the bottom.
Yeah. No, the cardboard.
boxes. Yeah, absolutely.
So thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Ding that bell for notifications.
Go Concrete!
Beat asphalt.